A second example is looking here at Colton's map of New York City from 1836 in Luna application, the Drips 1852, a little later, and then the wonderful Viely map from 1865. In Luna, we see them in their relative size, faithful to the original, zooming into the Murray Hill area, which I was investigating. In Luna, there's no GIS here, but there's a real sense of the original map. Looking at them in our first foray into GIS with the quad viewer, they're now all the same scale, same size. And then going into Google Earth, see the same three maps on top of each other with modern data, tilting the Earth, see the context of the maps, and then do transparency through the 52, the 65, the 36, and the modern satellite view. And then we bring the 1836 map into Second Life, where it floats about 200 meters above the valley floor in my map island. It's laid out over about 400 meters. This is my avatar, Map Darwin, staring out across towards the Statue of Liberty, looking at the downtown, looking at a wonderful model of the Brooklyn Bridge that a Second Life user has built. And then thinking about walking uptown, but then coming back to the reservoir, which is the site of the New York Public Library today. In Second Life, we've got a whole new perception of this map now. Sense of its really enormous size, even though it's 5 feet physically. My avatar can fly through the map. There's no gravity in Second Life. And drop down. So this transformation of the map continues in Second Life, where we offer wonderful ways. He's dropping down here to our Welcome Center and the world map in front of it. Wonderful ways to experience these maps in new form. The scale is huge. We have maps stretched out over 4 sims and extending hundreds of meters up into the sky. The experience can be shared with others. You can add your own annotations here, as people have done on the world map, and comment. People can take away over 50 maps, viewers, and globes to their own spaces in Second Life and pass them on to others. So Second Life offers us the beginning elements of a digital library. Plus, importantly, it's a place to fly over and into the maps, walk on the maps, and get to know them in a whole new way. I've collaborated with a group called Centric, which came to me through Bernie Fisher. They're a group of Second Life developers with a strong interest in the artistic and educational uses of Second Life. They've taken a great deal of care in working with me in building this world. I look forward to working with them on several new projects that we will try here, bringing more maps onto the island and showing them in new ways. I'm excited that we'll be able to redefine what a map library is and can be in a virtual world. As Second Life opens up to outside databases, which we are told by Linden Labs they're going to do, I envision having access to all of my maps in Second Life from the Luna database and using the three-dimensional world to display them in interesting ways, and to allow the discovery of data by actually moving to it and through it. Also, I believe Second Life will be adding GIS. And, of course, to collaborate with users to build things together, because Second Life is very much a social space. I think that virtual worlds like Second Life can do more for the academic community than just recreate classrooms for distance learning, although that's certainly a powerful part of their many uses. Virtual worlds can also contain and display information and experiences in entirely new ways. From this example here, this highly accurate recreation of the Dresden Gallery, which is a marvelous museum in Germany. It was entirely destroyed in the Second World War, rebuilt, and now they've rebuilt the whole thing in Second Life. All the paintings on the walls, all the textures, the images are fairly high resolution. So this is a whole new way to look at these paintings compared to how you might see them in a Luna kind of application where you're looking at thumbnails. Now you're seeing them all in relation to each other. And you can, in fact, stick your nose up and get fairly close to them. The resolution is pretty darn good. My own approach is obviously less literal. I've actually, perhaps it's because I have maps, but I've taken a more GIS approach and stretched maps out. One experiment that I have just been in the midst of doing, and it's not completed, you'll see hovering in the clouds in the upper right, our map cylinder. This is 600 meters tall. It has 2,000 thumbnails on it. You can see it here from the New York map. It's a whole other way to look at thumbnails, obviously. Each thumbnail is 1024 by 768. Here's the thumbnail approach as I will have them in Luna, and here they are in this cylinder that you can move through in Second Life. So the whole theme here is moving to the information physically. As I said, if we look at this image in the center, bring it up close, it's fairly high resolution. You can click on any of the thumbnails and it will go into the Luna database and allow you to zoom in, see it in detail, and to get the data record. And of course, it's an interesting shape. Here's a little example of my avatar flying towards the cylinder. I used to work with buildings, you know. I think it probably shows. But I do find this shape fascinating. My avatar can fly into it and then sort of Alice in Wonderland-like drop down through it. When they open up to outside databases, all of these thumbnails will be able to be linked directly to a database. And you'll be able to obviously create other kinds of shapes and so on. I think rich visualization tools like virtual reality, 3D globes, and advanced tools to use high-resolution imagery like Luna will continue to validate users' desktop screens as places for detailed examination of visual evidence of all kinds, not just maps. But as I was discussing with Joel before the lecture, at the same time, I think mobile devices, which he's going to tell you very interesting things about, will become also powerful visual tools as technologies like Sea-Dragon, which unfortunately Microsoft has swallowed up, but we still hope it will reemerge, will come into being. These will allow small PDF windows to look at rich visual material easily. To conclude, cartographers have long used globes as means of comprehending the world in one view. This is a pocket globe from 1731 by Richard Cushy of London. It sits in a little sharkskin case with the heavens on the inside, 3 inches big. Here, my example of the 3D globe in Google Earth and Google Sky is its own kind of pocket reality. I think that virtual globes such as NASA's Whirlwind, Google Earth, Microsoft's Virtual Earth, and ESRI's Arc Globe, and here seeing the globes in the virtual world of Second Life, all these virtual globes will play a very large role in our view of what mapping is and how GIS advances. They'll be part of the growth of new mapping services that will include public GIS, 3D buildings, virtual worlds, tools to create maps and to annotate maps online, and the building of Web 2.0 digital map libraries made by users. The special reality of working with these globes in Second Life is very compelling for me because it adds human scale so well, as we can see looking at my avatar, exploring the globe spaces on the island. For me, one of the most interesting directions of GIS and maps, looking ahead to the next decade, is the fusion of 3D GIS, virtual globes, and virtual reality spaces like Second Life, a kind of second Earth, which Wade Rush has written about very interestingly in MIT's Technology Review. I recommend the article. Inside such a space, my avatar, Matt Darwin, is looking at the celestial globe transformed by GIS, originally inspired by Google Earth and Sky, and now made superscale in Second Life. I think the creator of this celestial globe over 200 years ago in Rome, Giovanni Cassini, would agree that digital technologies have indeed given his marvelous work truly a second life. And for me, as a collector of paper maps, these same technologies have created the privilege, really, of opening up my passion for maps to the world and giving a second life to my private collection as an ever-evolving public resource. Thank you very much.